I'm going to try to get through this, but I didn't realize you'd be sitting like right in front of me. So I'm really honored to be here tonight to play a part in recognizing Neil to get this award, especially since it's the first time in our personal and professional history that I get to say, me first. And that very often, I gotta go for it. One of the honors of being a Scoville Award winner recipient is that the first thing that you're tasked with doing after sort of recovering from the shock of it all is to rope an unsuspecting colleague into writing a very glowing article about you for the Orange County Lawyer magazine. And in Neil's case, even though he apologized profusely, I was absolutely flattered because in another role-reversing moment for us, I was able to do for him something he has throughout my career done so generously for me. And that's to tell you a few things about him that he wouldn't necessarily tell you himself. One of those things is the unique way in which Neil champions our system of justice. He shared with me over the years, from his somewhat apolitical view of life, that at times he's felt as if he has very little influence over things on a national level. So what he's done is, because of that, changed his goal to try to be a positive influence over his little part of the world, which includes family, friends, clients, employees, and of course his students. Neil believes, of course, that if everyone focused on the same things, that the world would be a much better place, and I, for one, certainly agree. Another important thing I think you need to know about Neil is that he truly walks the talk. Neil's strong need to live his faith and serve others with love and humility has really been the touchstone of his legal career, and it permeates every facet of his life. I'm choking up. Nowhere in his long legal career, however, do these traits play out more than in his strong commitment to being a positive role model for countless law students, young lawyers, and a significant number of more senior attorneys as well. I know many in this room, and myself included, have learned from Neil what it means truly to be a lawyer, to have a strong understanding of how to treat a client, opposing counsel, and to ethically represent and champion our constitutional system of justice with all its challenges, disappointments, failures, and its rewards. During the 10 years that Neil and I practiced together, our firm saw well over 80+ interns, externs, law clerks cycle through our office, watching, listening, and questioning. I feel so hopeful as I think back on all the professional lives that Neil has influenced. As we all know, when it comes to practicing, it's not necessarily how you practice, but who you practice with. And I know a number of us in this room have been really blessed to be able to practice with Neil. Which leads me to the last thing I'm going to share with you about Neil. Having known him and worked with him for several years, I can say from my own experience his dedication and commitment to giving back to the legal community and doing some justice for the clients, which happens to be Neil's personal slogan, and our system of justice really inspiring. So I don't really know when this started, but at some point in our weekly calendar meetings, Neil started ending our calendar meetings by saying, "Let's go do some justice." And we do this. And we all go, laugh at him and giggle and go, and we'd leave. And that went on for a little while until we had a couple of law clerks, or interns. Those of you that worked in our office know I can't tell the difference. Who actually, it really meant something to them. They put it on, printed it out for him and framed it, and it now sits in a place of pride in the firm. And that really changed the whole thing for me. It wasn't just something to giggle at, and it wasn't just something he said to make us laugh, which is kind of what we thought he was doing. It truly meant something to him. And I think that really says a lot about it. And I know that for many years to come, Neil, wearing one of his traditional or well-known fish print shirts, is going to continue to inspire future generations of legal advocates to go forth and do some justice. So I'm very proud of you. And I'm so happy for you to receive this award. Thank you.
I just told Teresa now she's got a meal choked up. So thank you very much. I'm incredibly honored to be selected for this award, this recognition. The strange thing about it is that I feel like I'm being given an award for doing what I love to do. Some of my volunteer efforts were with non-lawyers or non-law students, like when I volunteered to go work with elementary school kids to do mock trials to help them learn about the legal process, or when I went many years and coached the Constitutional Law Foundation mock trials down at the Superior Court. And it gave me great joy to be there. I wasn't there because I felt it was a burden. I was there hoping that I could help inspire some people to eventually become part of our profession. And at this point, I'm really hoping some are either well on their way to that goal or already enrolled in law school at this point. But I take great joy in thinking that maybe I could have touched that little part of their lives to change the path of their life. Most of my volunteer efforts have been with lawyers and law students. An old friend of mine that many people in this room I will probably remember, and if you don't remember her, it's because you haven't been practicing long enough. Former Scoville Award winner Grace Emery. Very dear friend. And she used to say, in fact, I interviewed her once for a magazine article, and she said that she loved spending time with lawyers because they're smart and they have such great stories. And she was right. I find spending time with lawyers, both young, almost lawyers, or lawyers, whether they're young lawyers or have been around for a long time, to be stimulating and enjoyable. And so I've enjoyed doing things like agreeing to be part of various mentorship programs in the OCBA and other organizations, and closely affiliating myself with law students wherever I can, because I found great joy in molding young professional minds and helping them reach their aspirations, the same aspirations we had so many years ago when we were in law school. And we just needed some people to take us under our wing and help us through the hard parts. By agreeing to be part of the OCBA organizations and other bar organizations, including the state bar, I've found great satisfaction in being part of developing other people's professional lives, providing them with guidance in the difficult path that we take on as lawyers. And what we do is hard, and what we do is stressful. And if there's any way that we can reach out and help each other get through this very hard profession, then I think we're doing a wonderful thing. I think by doing that, well, I think like many of you, by participating in things like the OCBA mandatory fee arbitration and mediation program, I felt that I've left, my presence has allowed attorneys and clients to, in many cases, resolve disputes. And if we can reach out and help people resolve disputes, we change the world for a little bit better each time we do that. And that brings me to the message that I would like to convey, if you will indulge me. You all know that we are all volunteers in this room tonight, and heaven knows we're not volunteering for the money. Right? I actually once tried to sit down and figure out how much professional time, the cost of my professional time was from volunteering for various things, and once I hit in the six-figure number, I decided it wasn't doing me any good to do that. I don't recommend you doing it either. So we're not doing this for money. We're doing it, I believe, because we're doing what we can to incrementally change the world in just a slight way for those people that we touch in the various things that we volunteer to do, whether it be the person who can't afford an attorney, or the young attorney or the young law student who wants to be an attorney, or just our colleagues who have challenges that they're going through that we may have gone through before. Whatever it may be, we're making those people's lives better. And as you know, I heard it said, actually it was on a recent television show, but sometimes you can get good stuff off of TV anyway. Why measure your success in dollars when you can change the world? Right? Teresa told you, my philosophy has always been that I don't have much power to affect worldwide, national, or maybe even statewide politics, and to a certain extent. I believe that each one of us have the power to make the world better for those people whose lives we touch from day to day. Our family, our friends, our clients, our employees, our profession, our bar organization. Those are the people that all of us have the power to make life better in some small way. And everybody in this room who's a volunteer is doing that. And I'm so proud to be a part of a group like this. The 100 and some odd people that are in this room that have given of their time. Time is money, as I've taught in my time management classes that I've given at various bar organizations. Time is money, but you're giving that money, you're giving that time, which is more valuable. So each one of us changes the world for better through our volunteer efforts. Finally, I would like to just thank a few people. This is the part of almost every speech like this where you guys can tone out that there's some people in the room. All right, first of all, I want to thank my wife, Janelle, who has given away. We met the first day of law school. She sat down next to me, said, "I don't know who you are." I introduced myself, and a year and a half later, we were married in law school. She's been with this whole journey, gone me with this whole journey, and she's given away a great deal of time with me to allow me to volunteer to help over the years. She's the love of my life, and I'm so appreciative of her willingness to give up many things to allow me the opportunity to serve others when I should have been home serving her. I want to thank my firm family in the back of the row over here, who has labored alongside me all of my life. Christina and Lupe particularly have been with me forever, it seems. That's a good thing. Without your constant efforts to assist me in putting together written materials and PowerPoints and all the other work that springs from my extracurricular activities, I would not have been able to do all that I have been able to do. Everyone in my firm has had to pick up the slack when I engaged in volunteer efforts, including Teresa, and so I thank you all for that. I'd like to thank former Scoville Award winners Roy Comer and Teresa McQueen, along with my other friends and colleagues who spent time and effort to bring my name to the attention of the OCBA for this award. You are the best, and I'm so honored to be included on a list with your names and so many other great attorneys and judges. I would like to thank my dear friends at Western State College of Law, including Deans Easley and Keller and Pam Davidson, who are here tonight, who have given me so many opportunities to work with law students and help them become attorneys in our community. That school gave me an opportunity to be an attorney almost 35 years ago, and I will never forget that. And finally, thank you to the OCBA for giving us the best volunteer bar association in the state, and for giving me this honor tonight. So now let's go do some justice and change the world.